problem-solving model is to explore. In order to confirm or deny your hypothesis that you've just made, you must conduct an investigation to determine the relationship between the length of a footprint and that person's height. You can see where explore fits in our problem-solving model. To determine the relationship, you must first collect data related to the two variables you are investigating. You may want to use the table of values to collect data. Have a look at the next slide here for an example. So let's say you decide to measure the height and the footprint for 10 people. After great trouble in making them stand still, you have collected your data. You've got the name of the person, the length of the footprint, and the height. And you've measured this data for 10 people, including your baby sister, Monta, baby brother, Hermit, Simpson, Donkey, Shrek, Sweet Pea, Talipion, and the Dark Knight. So you've gone ahead and explored. You now have your data. The next thing you're going to want to do is model. Now that you've collected your data for foot length and height, you must create a model to display your data. You can see where a model would fit in our problem-solving process. A model could be a scatter plot and or a formula. We're going to have a look at a scatter plot. That'll look something like this. Of course, we could also use a formula, which would be some way of relating the two variables. Let's take a look at our model. Let's use our table of values to create a scatter plot for foot length and height. We'll need a piece of graphing paper for this task. And we'll also need to recall our table of values. There's our table of values, and there's our piece of graph paper. Our first step is to choose the scale. We've gone ahead and chosen a scale that will allow us to fit all of our data on the graph and use up a significant amount of the paper. Our length of footprint has gone along the bottom axis, or the independent axis. Our height has gone along the vertical axis, or the dependent axis. We'll also want to make sure that we label our axes. So we'll label it height in centimeters, being sure to include units, and footprint length in centimeters. Once we're done, we can start to plot the points. As you plot the points, you may begin to notice a trend in the data. Once you're finished plotting the points, you're finished modeling your experiment. You should start to read into this. What relationship seems to exist between foot length and height? And could you write a formula relating the height h and the foot length f? Take a shot at these and then come back and see what we have.